Starting.
You're on.
Good afternoon. This is Attorney Ted London on the legal line. So glad you joined us this Thursday. We're on Facebook Live every Thursday at 3:30. Today we have a great show. Stay tuned. Here's Cliff Kelly.
Get this mic out of the way. Then we can see you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. I'm Cliff Kelly, and of course, it's Thursday, May 10th. And of course, you know what that means. The Legal Line with Attorney Theodore Ted London, and that was his selection. He wanted you to hear that. We are on iHeartRadio. All you need to do is download the app to your smartphone or tablet and take us with you wherever. You can go to WVON.com, of course. And when you do that, we always ask that you participate in the daily listener poll and view our current video. You can call us direct, 773-591-1690. And you can get social, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And he, of course, is in the studio, as he always is. We are so pleased to have our neighbor. He's right across Stony Island at 1718 East 87th Street. The law offices of Theodore London, attorney and counselors at law. And he is in the studio as usual. How are you?
Cliff, I am claiming it and I'm going to admit it. I want to be a billionaire. But here's the good news, Cliff. I don't want to be a sole billionaire. That's why we have Mr. Bruce Montgomery with us again this week. He had a great show last week. I was inspired by Mr. Montgomery, so I wanted him back, not only for the listeners, for myself. So he's going to be able to give you some more information, answer some great questions. But before we get to Mr. Montgomery, I want to say to you, Cliff, it is such a pleasure and a privilege to be here as of every week. Thank you so much again for having me this week.
It's always a pleasure to have you here. You have to make a commitment to me, though.
What is that, sir?
Once you become a millionaire.
Billionaire.
I'm sorry.
With a B.
I'm sorry, yeah, billionaire. Will you still come to?
You can count on that.
3:30. Okay.
Absolutely. Would never miss this. Would never miss this. Even if I'm
Keep
doing
the money in the neighborhood.
Yeah, I'll keep the money in the neighborhood. I may not be here, though, but I'll keep the money here.
Sachet?
Sachet, yeah. We have any announcements today, Ms. Sachet?
So this week, we wanted to take some time to say thank you to everyone who's been going to our Facebook page and liking us. We're almost at 4,000 likes.
Wow, beautiful.
Yes,
Right.
so thank you so much. We also want you to know that we are streaming live on Facebook right now, so you can always go to the law offices of Theodore London on Facebook to catch our live broadcast, as well as YouTube and LinkedIn, and you can always go to our website, www.tedlondon.net, for great information, lots of pictures. And if you've been a client with us before, please feel free to go to our Facebook page and leave us a review.
Excellent.
We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. So, Counselor, what are we starting off with?
Well, again, as much as I missed tales from the law office, we're going to have to go on that again this week because we have Mr. Bruce Montgomery. And I want to get right to Bruce today. Bruce, again, you were here last Thursday, and I know we got a lot of interest on our Facebook page and our office, a lot of calls asking for the information to the program that you shared with us last week. So I just want to bring you back in this week, again, because you encouraged me so much, and I'm sure you did others as well. So thanks for joining us again this week. Bruce, welcome.
Well, it certainly is my pleasure. I'm delighted to be with you, and it is very timely because, as you indicated, and I think we both agree, and Cliff certainly agrees, that this is an excellent time to start a business, to own a business, to be putting money to work in our community. And I think, one of the things that WVON has done for a number of years is bring information to the community. And I think what the very success of WVON proves how much our community is information starved. We have so much of the other stuff available other places, but very few places give us direct information that we can take action on. The worst news is what I call after the fact news, where people want to tell you what happened.
Right.
You know, I was there, you weren't.
Yeah.
I got pictures to prove it. But you can't do anything with that. But here we're talking about what's coming up, what's going on right now. And so for people that are aspiring to be entrepreneurs, they need to know that some things are in fact changing to make it easier. You know, one of those things, Cliff, is with a lot of advocacy, the cost of establishing an LLC or a corporation was cut in half for residents of the state of Illinois. So, if, you know, one of the things you need to do as a business person is you need to protect yourself. You need to have a legal entity. You need to take your hustle to the next level, and you need to be incorporated. You need to have a corporation or an LLC. Well, now that cost, it's probably more than half less. So a year ago this time, it might have been $500 if you want to get an LLC in the state of Illinois. Now that fee is under $200. And so these are some real exciting times for people, because that means whether you have a daycare business or a transportation company, whether you're in professional services, whatever you have, you benefit by being incorporated in what you do.
Bruce, I just want to make sure, and I love what you're saying, that our listeners understand what an LLC is.
That's a limited liability corporation, and that's one of the new ways that makes it easy to do the paperwork associated with documenting how your business is established. And if you move on to have relationships with a financial institution, if you want to get real estate in your organization, this is a lot of what Mr. London does in terms of protecting assets legally. One of the ways you want to protect assets as a business owner is to be incorporated. Right. And to have a formal structure for your business. Now, along with that formal structure, you do need to also have your ability to keep track of your business finances in order. And so I encourage all people that go through the Operation Hope 12-week entrepreneurial program to start thinking of the team that they want to have. I always ask, you know, people tell me, well, I want to do this, I want to do that. I say, you in what army? You know, who's going to be along for the ride? It's not always employees in the beginning, but in the beginning, you do need to have an attorney, you do need to have an accountant, you do need to have an insurance person, and you do need to have a relationship with a financial institution. And I always ask people, I say, well, what relationship do you have with a financial institution? And because of the convenience of ATMs and these pop-up banks on every corner, a lot of times people don't have a relationship. And you know, one person called me a couple of days ago and said, Mr. Montgomery, when you told me to do that, I called my bank of 13 years and asked them that I want to have a relationship with me, and I wasn't happy with the answer. You know, they did not encourage me like you encouraged me. I asked them, did they want to see my business plan? Can I sit down and talk? And I wanted to prepare them so that when the time came for me to borrow money, that they knew what I was trying to do. And the young lady said she was very surprised at the lack of interest. So again, I think that in preparing to be in business allows you to establish yourself correctly. So a business plan, advice of counsel, professionals, and incorporating and establishing yourself is absolutely critical to putting a foundation on your business goals.
You know what, Bruce, I want you to share some other information too about some of the benefits of particularly African American people owning businesses. Again, one of the purposes of this 5-week special in the month of May is to share and encourage African American men in particular to start their own businesses. Share with us what some of the benefits of owning one's own business will do for us in the community.
Well, certainly a big concern of mine, and one thing that I like to advocate for, is equity and fairness. And we were talking about this before the show started today. You know, we've seen the news recently about people being concerned about being in the state of Illinois with the state of Illinois' economy. And sometimes the wrong impression is, well, the city's broke, the state's broke, the county's broke. Nothing could be further from the truth. I mean, really, you look at the amount of construction that's going on in Illinois. So what's important is that we as African Americans don't get the wrong message and say, well, I'm not going to go after city, state, federal, county contracts. Wrong answer. We need to be upping the game because we're not getting our fair share. So many of us here are tax-paying citizens, and we pay for county services, we pay for city services. One of the reasons you want to be in business today, and I can say this is the absolute truth, is that there never been a better time where programs for inclusion and diversity are on the books. Now there have to be some teeth in those programs, and you're going to see some news come out over the next few days that is going to show you what I'm talking about. you're going to see some new efforts, because it usually happens around times people want to get reelected. They want to make sure that they have some laws on the books that are there for diversity. So that means that you got to jump while the iron is hot. This is the time to put yourself in a position to be a certified MBE, WBE. The state doesn't even charge for that service. The county is one of the most expeditious minority programs you can be involved in. And then once you get county or state certification, there are reciprocal agreements that these people have to be bound by that recognize your minority status with whatever agency you're doing business with. So we have to fight for our fair share for these public contracts, and we have to hold our elected officials accountable. And thank God we have some people in the House and in the Senate of the state of Illinois. I love my friend Cook County Commissioner Dennis Deere, who is picking up the mantle right from our great friend who passed away, Commissioner Robert Steele, who is on them. In fact, today there was a program making sure that the hiring at Cook County for the hospital that they're going to be reviving, the old county hospital, included diverse a workforce. And so my hat's off to people like Commissioner Dennis Deere, who is right there making sure that we get our fair share of contracts. And he came in fuming about the disparity in Cook County Hospital. Here they spend $200 to $300 million a year, and the percentages of African American inclusion was abysmal, and he jumped right on it. And I'm so happy that people are doing it. But again, we can't win if we don't have people going after the business.
Sure.
And I don't care what product or service you have, whether it's architect, engineering, computer services, IT, communications. You can do business in any area you're in. There is a public component for your business. So you don't make it all of your business, but you make it some of your business.
You know, what you're saying, and this is so great, the city, the county, the state, they buy everything.
Everything.
I know people who made all kinds of money selling toilet paper. No, seriously.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But they're minority business. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm just using that. You can do all kinds of things.
Right.
So what you're saying makes so much sense. I just think it's great.
One of the things I want to talk to Bruce about as well is, Bruce, the necessity for African American people to support African American professional service providers. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, again, having a good professional services team helps you every step of the way, because again, when you enter into doing business with these public agencies, you're entering into terms and conditions that you need to be prepared to understand what you're signing off on. And so you want advice and counsel to be there. So before you sign anything that says you're so happy to get the contract, no. Have that contract reviewed by somebody that knows what's going on. I hear right on this station, I was talking about one of the firms, and to give a shout out to the Jackson Law Firm. We have professionals in these areas of business law, contract law, minority certification, and these types of areas. And then some of the services are available pro bono. The Law Project, which is part of the Lawyers for Civil Rights, they provide some of this work for no charge, where you look at people's intellectual property, you determine if you get a patent or a trademark, how you want to protect your brand. And so there's so many services. And a lot of these services are available through what is called Small Business Development Centers, or SBDCs, Small Business Development Centers.
Tell us about those. Bruce.
So Small Business Development Centers exist, again, funded by taxpayers' dollars at the state and the federal level. The federal government puts up half the money through the SBA. The state matches that money with another half of money. And so then they open up facilities. In fact, I work out of one. My program, Operation Hope, is actually housed inside of the Greater Englewood Community Development Corporation, which is a small business development center. And so that means that state-based programs, you don't have to go downtown. You can go right to 63rd and Halstead, up to the 4th floor of the U.S. Bank building, and say, I want to do business with the state. How do I do it? I want to become a minority certified business. What steps do I need to go through? I want to get an SIC code, or I want to get my business listed so I can find out about contracts that are coming from these different entities. You go right over 63rd Street, Halstead, and there's an SBDC right there. And there are even more SBDCs opening up in our community in different parts on the south and the west side that are in community-based organizations. So you can go right to and this is one thing that I'm so happy that today we must become technology literate. we have to go online and do our research. Thank God that you don't have to go down to City Hall for everything. You don't have to go down to the State of Illinois building. You can sit right up in Starbucks, pull out your laptop, your tablet, your iPhone. You want to tweet on something. Tweet on doing some business.
Sip and savor. How about sip and savor?
Well, sip and savor, exactly. You know, go somewhere and do some research. Go online, do your homework, understand the kinds of opportunities out there. But the point is, these SBDCs, and the SBDCs have a spinoff called PTACs, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers. The Women's Business Development Center is one of those, where they will actually walk you step by step on how to pursue federal, state and county and city contracts and be certified to do that kind of business and actually help you bid on that kind of business. And again, that's a funded program through the State of Illinois Small Business Development Centers and Procurement Technical Assistance Centers.
Now, I know the listeners are absorbing the information, but here's one thing I want to slow down for 1 second to make sure that they get this.
Okay.
That is your information, Bruce. We're going to do that at the end, but let's stop for a second. Let's give them your name again. Let's give them the name of Operation Hope, what some of the benefits of Operation Hope are. Tell us about the entrepreneurial program as well.
Well, Operation Hope.
Phone number and website address.
Thank you so much. I get to talk and I don't even do my own
we have to do that.
Blatant self-promotion. But my name is Bruce Montgomery, and I can be reached at 312-725-8601. That's 312-725-8601. You can send a text message and just say, I want to know more about the 12-week entrepreneurship program. And when you send me a text message, please put your name, your mailing address, and your email address so I could reply to you with the information. Now, we're going to have a free, and another thing about the Operation Hope services for small business, it's all free. There is no charge for our one-on-one consulting. There's no charge for our small business workshops. We're actually going to have a small business workshop on May 23rd. It will be at the U.S. Bank building on 63rd Halstead in the Greater Englewood CDC, SBDC offices on the 4th floor. So all you have to do is call 312-725-8601 and send a text message or call and say, I want to find out about the 12-week program. Now, the next 12-week program we have, and in the 12-week program, what we try to do in that program is spend time going over what we've been talking about in detail. So what does it take to really put together a business plan that is going to be seen as credible? Is it going to have what it needs to have in there? And believe you me, we have banks, accountants, lenders, people in the workshop showing you what you need to give back to them so you can get some money.
Give us an idea of what people may need. Give us a little idea of what they're going to learn in the
Well, one thing, you cannot get around it. You need to know your credit score. You need to get a copy of your credit report. And let me tell you, I don't care what the number is. And like John Hope Bryant, the founder and chairman CEO of Operation Hope likes to say, nothing can change people's lives for the better than seeing their credit score go up 200 points. They think they have passed and gone to heaven. And guess what? It's not as hard as you think, nor do you have to pay anyone to do it. What you have to do is look at your credit report, square in the eye, understand what's there, and start working. And guess what? We have banks and financial institutions that will work with you on the process of taking your score up 150, 200 points. Now look, it took you a little while to get it where it is. It's not an overnight kind of thing, but you can get it where you need to be. Now that, along with having a sound plan of who your customer is, what's your product or service that you're offering. I have something I call a business binder, A to Z, and it is 27 steps of documents that need to be in a 3-ring binder, where if you drop this 3-ring binder on somebody's desk and they flip through it, they'll look at you and say, man, you're really serious about this thing, ain't you? and when your paper can speak for you, you don't have to say anything. When you have your documentation in order, you have your tax number, you have your LLC filing, you have your financial statements, you have your tax returns, you have your marketing strategy, you have letters from clients saying how much they love doing business with you. So now people can see you actually have a sellable product. And there are people out here that have I talked to a young lady the other day who makes custom cakes, and her customers literally demanded that she be in business. They were, she was doing it part-time, but because there was such demand for her product, they said, look, would you quit horsing around with this thing and get in business all the way? And she had to do it. So most of us, the reason this is such a good time also is because, and Ted, you know this almost better than anybody else, our community has buying power.
We have strong buying power.
We've got buying power.
Absolutely.
We've got money.
Yes,
and the
indeed.
money is, in many cases, in what I call encore entrepreneurs. That means that people who have retired, have a nest egg, have money, have 6, 7, 8, 900 credit scores. And you know what? We need to have intergenerational partnerships and collaborations. Let the people come with experience and money and credit to be a part of your team. You all out here, I'm an 18, 21-year-old, my pants is on fire. Yeah, but you ain't got no money.
Sure.
You ain't got no credit.
Experience.
No experience. You better talk to your uncle. You better talk to your grandfather. You better talk to somebody in the family and say, hey, uncle, I think I want you to be on my board of directors. Say it loud. Mean it. Because they can open some doors for you and do some things for you. So having intergenerational teams, and this is one thing our community needs to refer to, is have that mentor-protege relationship. This is what's going to put our businesses on a fast track, is when we listen and are humble enough to be God. Melody had the benefit of having her father around to show her the ropes and whatever. So when he was ready to say, look, I'm getting ready to go fishing, she was ready to go. And WVA turned around since. So that's the kind of, we have to have that passage from one hand to the next generation, and we have to have those mentor proteges. A lot of times it's not in your family, so find a mentor or a protege that can work with you, whoever they are.
Bruce, we had a call that they want your phone and information and so forth, how to reach you.
Okay, well, you can reach me. My name is Bruce Montgomery. I'm the financial well-being coach at Operation Hope. My number is 312-725-8601, and it's operationhope.org, operationhope.org. Bruce Montgomery, 312-725-8601.
Is that how they would sign up for the class?
Absolutely. All they have to do is send a text message and say, I want to be in the entrepreneurship class, or I want to get more information about the small business programs right here in Chicago.
Oh, that sounds great, doesn't it?
Oh, this is unbelievable. Thank you so much, Mr. Montgomery. We want the listeners to take advantage of all the information that we're bringing to you. Not only does it benefit the listeners, but it benefits me as well. Thank you so much, Bruce.
And of
Thank
course,
you.
We want people to call Theodore London.
We absolutely do.
773-721-3333. He's our neighbor, 1718 East 87th Street, right across Stony Island. Lots of great information. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Cliff. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Let's go to Josh McGee and get the latest on traffic and the weather, and then we'll go to the top of the hour for the news.
Thank you so very much. What another fantastic show we had today. Of course, the legal line with Cliff Kelly, and of course we have the great Bruce Montgomery with us today. Please look at this show more than once, because the more often you look at it, the better information you're going to absorb. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.